This is TELUS STORYHIVE On Location Victoria with your Carpe Noctem Creation Challenge. We are in House of Owl, Victoria's co-working space for creators. House of Owl is located on the Lekwungen territory, where deep bow, deep heart, and much love to the original caretakers of this land, the Songhees and Esquimalt peoples. We are at the final hour of Carpe Noctem here. This is when it all comes together, and it's when things get a little tense. We've got only 54 minutes, 22 seconds.
Countdown begins.
Countdown, it's real. How are we doing?
Good, so Drew's doing a take now. The girls have got the last little bit. They're going to put theirs in. And then we will basically run some basic percussion over it, maybe an extra instrument or two, and do a mix from
Okay, sounds
There's
good.
not a huge amount in there bar the vocals. The vocalists have ended up being the part that shine in the writing.
Yeah.
I think the focus has become lyrics
Yeah.
as much as anything else.
Okay, great. Can you please remind us what the curveball was?
Okay, so this is what's happened. It was the 5th inning. I don't know how many innings there normally are in baseball, but we're going to go with the 5th. And this guy comes in and he says, remember that bad lyric that we thought was bad but wasn't that bad, but it was the second pick and we chose the first pick, but we still have the second pick. We're going to use the second pick. We're going to pick it and we're going to put it in the song, and it's going to be a lyric. So here it is. Make it a lyric and put it in the song. And that was the curveball.
Okay, 52 minutes. Good luck, you guys. You got this. You got this. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maya,
Yes.
what was the hardest moment for you tonight so far?
This feels like a reality TV
Yes,
show
it
where
is.
like everyone's talks.
This is reality,
starts talking
and
about
there
each
is
other.
TV. Just tell me who you just like hate a little bit right now. No, don't. No, what's been the hardest moment?
Was right before we restarted filming on the songwriting, and I think all of us, there was a lot of different things going on, and I felt like maybe all of myself included were maybe attached to different things or unattached to different things. But we took a break, came back, and now we're creating something really great.
Okay, so do you feel like it started to find its way after that?
Yes,
Yeah.
very much.
Okay, very cool. Is there anything that you would want to see added to the song in the next 20 minutes?
I think we have a lot of really cool instruments that would be fun to bring in.
Yeah.
But also there's not a lot of time, and I'm excited to see what these guys do for production.
If you
So
could
we'll see.
have one instrument join in the mix here, what would it be?
Either harp or saxophone, but I think I'd rather hear the harp.
Yeah? Good. Okay, we've got 45 minutes. Now, what we would ideally like to see is that in the next 15 minutes, everything is recorded. Now, I know that Ellie and Colleen, they still have some singing to do. They also have some guitar to play. I see Caleb just picked up the djembe. It's going to add some percussion. This is really when it all happens. And it's just like anything else. It's like that homework that you leave until the night before. It's like the amount of importance and focus expands the smaller the timeline becomes. So right now, you're going to see them do probably 75% of the work on this song in the next 15 minutes. And Drew, how are you feeling? Great.
Hey.
Now tell me, what's been the hardest moment for you tonight?
Oh, the trickiest time. I think the tricky time is killing my darlings. Like at the very, very outset, I heard 3 artists who had incredible ideas, and those 3 ideas I knew would gel together with fluidity. And that the idea I had, although it had merit and it had value, I thought, and I think people were saying the same thing, so that was positive to hear that feedback. But it just, in the context of what we're trying to accomplish, it was like, yeah, that's good, but let's put that somewhere else.
Yeah, I get that. I see that had it been your idea and then 2 other songwriters who had similar ideas to yours, probably would have gone in that direction.
Totally. But I also really respect the fact that they're like, hey, how can we incorporate that part of it that we really love?
Yeah.
And then the second part was like sitting down with Maya and just going through all the lyrics and then like really workshopping them. That was a really lovely part of it. And then coming around, we're all kind of like writing in these little pods, a little like somewhat isolated from one another. So when Colleen and Ellie were writing the bridge kind of section, I came in and I was like, so do you know how the song ends? Because like,
Right.
I think
Do we have an ending?
if you have the context of like the last verse we wrote, then it's going to inform the lyrics. And then they just like, they took that idea and ran with it. And that's when I really felt like, holy smokes, like we're coming from 3 different places, you know, or 4 different places. Or I mean, there's so many creators in here. I'm not going to number it off, but what I saw in those moments is it's like, okay, we're like now like building off one another's ideas, and that's really the kind of the spirit of this, and the really the fun part. Damn, we're getting into it now.
Yeah.
You know,
It's quite a different beast, hey, to collaborate in the moment, improv versus collaborate where you're actually writing something down and you're actually going to record the piece.
Yeah.
It's completely different art.
Yeah, it's wild. And it's like it's I love that we all come from very different backgrounds, and that shows up in how we write songs, how we interact. And what I've always been a fan of is the counterpoint. I work with a songwriting partner, Jesse Horwood, as well as a lot of the other people in my bands. We all write songs, but Jesse and I, we typically will like, he might like write the first verse of a song, and then he'll kind of give it to me, and then I'll take the same theme from my own perspective and then do it from another angle. And that's kind of what we've created here. Is it's like, what's your take on it? And when you get different voices expressing their outlook on a theme or an idea, that's when you get a kind of a more rounded picture. It becomes more interesting, I find.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you're that. Oh, Ellie,
Hi.
it sounded so good. How you doing?
Hey,
What's been your favorite part of the night?
Colleen.
Colleen.
Yeah.
Hey, Colleen, what was your favorite part of the night?
Oh, it's Ellie.
There you go. There you go.
No, everybody's great. Everybody's so great, but Ellie and I are new best friends.
Okay, there you go. What is something that has surprised you tonight?
Just how quickly 5 hours can go by.
It feels so long after 2 hours, right? But then all of a sudden it's
And all of
gone.
a sudden, the computer freezes and you think you have time, but then you don't.
Yeah, and you wake up and it's Sunday afternoon.
We all just live here now.
I feel unsurprised,
Ooh.
I think.
Are you surprised by that? No, not even by that.
Can't
What do you
surprise
mean?
her.
I don't know. I think that what am I? This is a very different. I've done like a few songwriting camp type things before, and this one is the most different one, just in the way that we've like approached the process, because the whole like go off separately and like come up with your own seeds and then come back. I've kind of done that before, but like then you would kind of go with like one of the ideas and then you would come together and like really like work through this one idea, and then it kind of is a little more cohesive in the creation. But this way we've kind of like taken essences of all of the ideas and put them into the song. And there was a moment where I was like, is this the Titanic? Are we hitting an iceberg? We don't know it yet because it doesn't look like a very big iceberg, but truth is there's a big old berg under there. But actually, when I just heard one of the like after the chorus, which was like this really beautiful melodic chorus, and then Maya comes in and it almost sounds like a rap kind of like vibe. I actually thought it was pretty sweet, and we never would have got that if we didn't go with this super
Strange
unorthodox process. So,
And just like Drew was saying earlier, that this song that's being created, there's no way any individual one of us wouldn't have been able to write this song. It just wouldn't have come out. This really is the combination of everyone here.
Yeah.
What surprised you, Colleen?
Oh.
You're unsurprised as well.
No, I'm like truly what surprised me is how quickly the time can go by, because there's so many things to do, right? There's so many things that have to happen in order to get a song fully recorded.
Yeah.
Like that, and just yeah, seeing everyone's different parts come together and having to take, you know, every take we've done is like one take. Okay, you're done.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'm usually a bit of a perfectionist, so I'm like, let me do it again. Let me do it
Yeah,
again. This time it's like,
again.
nope, just got to do it once, and then
totally.
you're done. But it's good. I'm actually surprised with like how calm I am about it.
Hmm.
Because you know, normally I'm like, ooh, everything's high stakes. Gotta do it really. And I'm like, this is just fun. We're
It's
just having
fine. Just have a good
Just
time.
music, no big deal.
Do you have a favorite part of the song right now?
I actually really like that little weird out of the chorus that we just did.
Mm-hmm.
That like where I was like, it's 2 bars of 3/4 and 1 bar of 4/4, and you're like, actually, it's just 3 bars of 4/4, and I was like, you're right, that's the same thing.
It's the same.
But I like that. I like that little part.
It was fun because we were trying to find a way to get back into Maya's verse, and I was like, ooh, I know she starts it on A minor,
Yeah.
and so I want to finish it out where it lands on A minor, but it feels like unfinished. So we're gonna end it there, and then in an ideal world, on the second chorus, we resolve it back to C.
Yeah.
But I think it goes really cool into what Maya's got going on. And then Drew came up with this lyric in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
Actually,
about this
aforementioned
hallway.
the other thing
It was
too,
really good.
not to cut you off, but the way that this, like, because we had such little time, we all ended up kind of like ripping off into different rooms and like kind of tackling each part of the song, and we started to be like, are we writing the same song? Because what's the story? Like, where's the plot? Because Drew and Maya wrote these killer verses, but we didn't know what they were. We obviously knew they were killer, but we just didn't know what they were. And so when Drew came and found us, he was like, well, actually, he dies in the fire. So we got some insight as to the story. So then we were able to rewrite the chorus a little bit, so that
cool.
it actually tied into the overarching story, which is important when you're telling a story. You want to tell the same story.
To know what it is. Sometimes. I read once, Leonard Cohen said that sometimes he rewrites his lyrics so many times that by the time he actually records them, he forgets what he was writing about. The song, the original idea was gone.
The song just becomes what it becomes.
Becomes what it becomes, and it means something to the people that listen to it.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
this song,
But this song,
are we doing the intro?
well, that is what I have been asked, and I don't know. We have 27 minutes
27
left,
minutes.
so I think we focus on making sure there's a song, and then if there's time for an intro, we'll do an intro.
Okay. Have any of you guys thought for a moment about, hey, what would you do with this song if you had like a week to work with it? Or have you
The intro?
Ever thought about it?
ever
minute.
within the last
I haven't
like
had time to
I
think
don't know,
about who
3.5, 4 hours?
hours.
What would you do with this song if
Oh,
you had 10 hours?
Caleb's idea, which was the music video, which explains the narrative,
Oh yeah.
which is, I think I have a vision of this. Should I get into it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
course.
so and jump in at any time if I'm like going astray. So she's walking through. Well, this is my interpretation of it. She's walking through landscape on the seashore of like a burnt out building,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like stepping over the kind of remnants of these like artifacts. And but it's springtime. There's like daffodils and there's light on the water. It's very beautiful. And then returning to that place at another time, aka the second verse, where it's kind of like the next season. It's autumn, and you kind of get that autumn gray skies, white caps on the water vibe. Still trying to figure out what she's missing.
Like she's being drawn back to this place, but she's not quite sure why.
What is she looking for? How does she close the loop? Of course, then the lyrics from Colleen and from Ellie come in, and where it's these memories of this couple together in some capacity, and then it kind of comes back in. Hopefully, we get all these parts in, and then it comes back in the same landscape in the wintertime, and the snow is kind of fallen on this burnt out building, this burnt out house, and it's the voice of the spirit of the person that passed, and that's the lover of this narrator. And so at that stage, this other voice takes the narration and solves that last little piece of the puzzle, which you have to listen to the song to figure out.
That is something.
Not super sneaky, but it's in there. Yeah, and so the whole thing is kind of like thematic, and even the snow is kind of like taking something that's that's hideous and ugly and kind of like covers it over. It's just like memory. When we remember someone we've lost, we see these beautiful memories and we kind of gloss over all the rough bits.
That's in depth.
It's got to be. It's got to have layers.
Yeah, multi-layers. Well, you know what's really cool is that Carpe Noctem Songwriting Challenge is only one version of Carpe Noctem.
Okay.
There are other versions that will be happening soon, and one is a music video version.
Nice.
Oh, so fun.
So there is a chance that we could take this song and a bunch of filmmakers to get together and spend 5 hours creating the music video for it. Burning down a house. They'll take, what, 4 hours to think of how they're going to do it, and then 1 hour to actually burn it down? Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, but that's the nature of these creative ideas. One builds on the other, builds on the other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. Yes. All right. Yeah, we're going to take a look at the clock. We're at 22 minutes.
This hour has.
What's going on in the studio? Is there a song that you wish you hadn't walked away from, but you did?
Okay, I have a comment about this. When we were talking in the beginning of the whole thing, and Caleb and they were talking about the songs, you kind of asked a question similar, like, when do you walk away from a song and when do you keep going?
Yeah.
And my thought is that some songs are just meant to exist to get you to other songs. Yeah, so you're just like getting ideas out, and you're not supposed to be precious, and you just try a melody, you try a thing, you try a chord progression, and maybe that song kind of is not that great, but it all like adds up to creative like shmeshma, and then it comes together, and then you get the song later. So it could take like 30 songs to
Are
get
you
to
saying that
song.
your entire life is a song?
No, I'm not saying that.
That's what she said. That's what she's saying.
But yeah, it all comes together. It's like compound interest, which I learned about recently. Turns out you should do that.
Well, I got the sense from the amount of snaps and claps and head nods that everyone feels similarly about making music.
I think it's important to walk away from songs. I think it's also important, to your point, to work to publish and not work to perfect, because as an artist we tend to we get really locked into perfecting everything, and like especially now with AI and all the stuff coming into generative stuff coming into the ether, we need to embrace our imperfections, and like that's what creates art, and that's what storytelling, because a perfect story is totally imperfect in its real way that it unfolds. Like the Hollywood story is not like, you got to put like character flaws in there, you got to have development, you got to have imperfections to make it actually interesting.
I mean, do you guys look forward to those happy accidents now in songs?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, like those moments where it was a horrible take, you listen back and you're like, oh wait a second, what was that? And it's just this one little glowing special thing that happened that you couldn't have planned for.
I think there's that, and that happens sometimes for sure. The thing that I'm starting to realize now as an elder millennial, that I remember even like pre-COVID, it was so scary to record you performing a song and then publishing it, because it was like, you know, when I play live, if there's little mistakes, it's just like a second that this mistake happens, and then it's gone, it's in the air. Whereas now that we're recording everything, it's like, oh my God, this mistake is now like cemented into existence and people are going to see it. But what I've now seen over the years is that you can go back and see those like early renditions of your craft, and you know, maybe you were so proud of them at the time, and now you can look back at it and you're like, wow, that wasn't very good, but I'm also so proud of that person who like was trying and learning and developing, and now I can see so clearly the growth curve, that compound interest.
That's right.
So anyways, that's not totally what your question was, but that was
but you're right, like you just got to keep releasing and putting things out, and then you look back and there's your journey. Right? Because when I look back at the stuff I posted on YouTube like 15 years ago, and at the time it was the best I could do. And then 5 years later I look back, I'm like, I'm so much better now, I want to delete that. But now that I 15 years later, I'm like, oh, I'm glad that the little like that's my journey, and you can see the compound interest. But now that I feel responsible for everything to be as good as my taste is now,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to publish stuff,
Yeah.
but I need to, because I need to think of like future me looking back on my journey, and I don't want there to be a gap in the journey.
Paralysis by analysis.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like we often try to just like think ourselves to the next song instead of creating our way to the next song.
You're right.
You know?
You're right.
We just keep thinking, if I just think about this enough, well, it'll just be perfect. But,
Maybe I'm just lazy, but when we started live streaming, I felt like live streaming live performances, especially like, for example, we play the Duncan Showroom is a great live streaming venue. Victoria's Gone Reggae Festival, another great live streaming opportunity when we were playing in the harbor. Like that us on the stage in the harbor, Apex Breaks on the stage in the harbor at the Victoria Scone Reggae Festival is going to be better than any album that we can spend years in a studio perfecting and crafting, because it's like, there we are, we're right there. And there's like my kids running around on stage, and like, yeah, we made some mistakes and like things were gritty and, but it doesn't matter. Like we were there and we did it. And I guess I'm actually super biased because my band is a live performance band, like through and through. It's really tough to capture a 9-person band in a studio with sound isolation and like everything's real dialed in. We're gonna give it a go up at Barnhouse in Qualicum this spring, and but yeah, I feel like live stream is the way to be. And so that's the goal for the open studios as well, is to take some of the lessons and hopefully work with you guys a bit and make it a live streaming stage, so that young and emerging artists, their first show is like captured and they have it, and they can keep it, and they can use that to book a gig somewhere, or book a festival or something like that. Because people need to see, not just hear what you can do, especially now in the day and age where you're like, oh, here's my drum sample and here's my chord progression from MIDI, and like you can do all that. Who are you? What do you bring to the table as a person, as somebody,
This is a perfect segue into Colleen playing her harp.
I thought so.
I knew that you were setting things up for that.
Basically, I was like, the end, Colleen should play her harp.
Yeah, because we have 10 minutes. Colleen, do you think you could just like play your harp?
Not really, but
Okay, so right now, can you tune while I'm talking? Then?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Can I talk while you tune? That's another question. So now in the studio, what's going on? We've got 9 minutes. I don't think that anything else is being tracked. What's going on now is they're taking pieces from here, taking pieces from there, really dialing in the arrangement, and making an actual song out of the pieces. And Ellie's gonna go in and distract them. No, not at all. So, and then in about 4 minutes, we're gonna kick the door down. And we're going to export that file. We're going to upload the file. And you're going to be able to find it on our website on houseofowl.com/Carpe Noctem. So that's House of Owl, HAUS of Owl, houseofowl.com/Carpe-Noctem. Seize the night. And it'll be there. And in all its glory, and there will not be any harp on it. No.
There's now.
There is now, though. Yeah.
I need to tune for 2 minutes.
Okay, guys, I think it's time for me to just jump into the studio and see how we're doing. And then we'll come see if there's a bit of harp that we can find at the end. How we doing?
Good. We're doing the cut and paste.
Yep.
We're almost there.
We're doing the old extend and
Repeat motifs.
yeah,
Because the motifs are what we remember.
that is the way.
Hearing them once and you don't remember them.
Mm.
Oh, that harp sounds lovely out there,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it's beautiful.
So nice.
Okay, in 24 seconds, we're gonna head into the studio and listen to the song all the way through.
I wonder what it's gonna sound like.
I have no idea.
Oh, what does it say?
Okay, so this is where we're at. 1 minute remaining. We're gonna go in, we're gonna listen. And this will be the first time any of us have heard the song all the way through. From beginning to end, this is 5 hours in the making. From seed's conception. Let's go, you guys were all here with us. Okay, let's go head in and see what this sounds like.
Let's do it.
Conceptualized and finished in 5 hours.
Can it? Let's see.
That's not.
How we doing, man?
Great.
Okay, let's take a quick look at that clock. We have 26, 25, 24.
Quick, let's do something else.
Quick, bass, harp. Let's go. All right. Now, you ready to go?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ready.
we're ready to go. Now, a song being done is a subjective experience. This song is done because we say it's done. Right? Big thank you to everyone that was involved in this. That was quite a wild experience. Please give yourself an applause. And everyone who was watching tonight, just absolutely amazing. Oh, there it is, 0. We are at 0. No, and let's take a listen. Here we go.
Of course, go through time.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
I've been looking for you, you're on mine. Light moves on the water, memory is not quite. Spell of ashes on my hands. Start again, start again. The evening that we never met came my future regret.
Future
I
regret.
almost remember your hands in my hair. That night in November, as if I was there. The way you were staring, I felt like I knew that soon you would ask me, and we'd say I do. Coveted, borrowed, and blue. I almost remember you. White caps on the water, gray skies, sea glass cutting through my tired lies. I'm here asking myself, what else? What else? The evening that we never met came my future regret. I almost remember your hands in my hair. That night in November, as if I was there. The way you were staring, it felt like I knew that soon you would ask me, and we'd say I do.
Color of the tragedy, ghostly white of snow. Accentuates the beauty, hides ugliness below. You came here seeking answers, 'cause I was gone too soon. In the ashes of this burned out house, the ring I brought for you.
And I just keep snapping for 17 more minutes.
Well done, guys. Big round of applause. Woo!
Nice.
Amazing. Okay. Big thank you to everyone who was involved. Thank you to TELUS. Thank you to House of Owl. Thank you to all these amazing songwriters, camera operators, the production team, engineers, Caleb.
Oh,
Yeah, high fives. Good job, guys.
All right.
Thank you
All right.
so much. Thank you. And we will come back for the next round of whatever we imagine and create. And check houseofowl.com/carpe-noctem in the next few minutes. As soon as this is done uploading, you'll have the track for yourself. Be well. Good night. Well, that wraps up another Story Hive on Location Victoria. If you have a story to tell and you want to be featured on this show, just scan the QR code and apply to be a guest. Until then, this is Jordan Dack with Story Hive on Location Victoria. I look forward to connecting again soon. Be well.